Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Plunked. It's the two teams in one city where we talk about Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. One team doing a little better than the other, but we still talk about them both. I am one of your hosts, Kristen Pertite, and joining me tonight is
Emilio Bucks. How you doing this evening, Kristen?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Not bad. I cannot complain. One thing we have in common with the two teams is 3.5 games. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I misspoke. Sox are 2.5 games ahead. Cubs are 3.5 games back, which isn't that bad.
Considering they're only one game under 500.
Still not that bad. Now, they still kind of have a shortened season because they got a little pressure on them, but
yeah. So, yeah, but anyway, so Emilio, let's talk about today's game. Talk about your first place team.
Hey, we got it done today. We managed to get this win just in the nick of time. Winning on a wild pitch. I won't go as far as to say that the Sox are the best team in baseball, but they are the hottest. Like all the luck is like going their way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a team that's hot, not only playing well, but they're getting the breaks. I mean, except for Moncada running through that stop sign at third and getting tagged up by a mile at home. But, needed the win because it gave us the split against KC. Could not afford to lose that series. So, it looks good. Who was it today? Was it Dylan Cease that was on the mound today? I feel like ever since you asked me about Dylan Cease a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of mad him, he's been doing a lot better. I'm sure I had nothing to do with that.
Yes, he felt that you just thought he was all right, so he said he's going to show you.
He's going to show me. He's like, and that guy on
Terminator burger eater, I'm going to show you.
We get the Cecilio pizza puff next week or something like that. Well, Cubs winners today.
Yes, Kyle Hendricks, who is very up and down. He was pretty good. Pretty good today. Hap, pretty good today. So it was, pretty good win. And it was good that they were able to kind of give the bullpen a little bit of a break because they are very suspect. Yeah. So, but it was nice, Matt Duffy's still hitting. And, I think Chris Bryant had a little rough game, but it's okay. He's allowed. And it was nice that other people picked up for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, good win. Always love when the other Chicago team helps out in our division by beating up on the AL Central.
I think you guys start getting some of the Cubs people soon, right?
True. I mean, we had Cincinnati.
I think St. Louis
was 2 weeks ago. Right. So we got I think it is. Well, we got Minnesota and the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
St. Louis.
You get St. Louis at the end of the month.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do.
Yes, because we put on that uniform too.
Hey, I got the hat. It's like the gas station hat I got for Father's Day a couple of years ago.
I got on my shirt from Target. So
hey, whatever works.
That's right.
True fandom does nothing to do with name brands.
No.
Right.
I'm not spending all that money for name brands anyway.
No, absolutely. I used to, I used to be quite the clothes horse, so to speak, or at least into one brand particularly.
No, I meant like spending all that money on I didn't really mean name brand. I meant like authentic sports stuff.
Oh yeah. It's authentic sports,
That
name
used to be the thing. I'm
brands.
too old
Yeah,
for it now.
yeah. I'm too old for all of it. All my
To spend
my
on it.
kids have the nicer stuff now, which is fine.
Yeah. So,
So,
excuse
what's up with
me. Sorry, I'm choking over
you
here.
okay? All right.
Yeah.
You okay? You all right
Yeah,
up there?
I'm all right.
I know
Sorry.
you got your shots.
Yeah, just choking on air. That happens a lot. I'm gonna go on mute
Uh,
in a minute. So you
oh
talk about
Lord.
something
You,
while I go
you
on
gotta
mute.
get you need a cough button. Okay, so while Kristen's hacking up her lung, I hope she'll be okay. We're going to kind of get into what we call the skinny. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm all right now.
You see, this is why you gotta love when we do the show live, because you never know what kind of madness will
Let's
ensue.
see. All right. Okay.
Let's take a look here. Look here.
All right. The skinny. The last 7 games. Pittsburgh. Last 7 games. Pretty rough.
Yeah,
Especially against some teams that they should have been able to beat. And like you see those 2 Cleveland losses by 1 run.
that
That was
hurt.
that was rough offensively. That
That and
might have been.
I just to jump in, I'll say Cleveland. That pitching. I mean, you know, uh, it is what it is. It is tough to play Cleveland, especially for Chicago teams. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
Anything in Ohio seems to be a little rough for Chicago teams. And I don't know,
Sure.
I can't remember, but Chris Bryant may have also been hurt or sick during one of those, and then he
Mm,
got kind of hurt.
okay.
Then there was that loss, that really bad loss yesterday to Detroit when the pitching really let them down.
Yeah.
Kimbrough came in, gave up
Sure.
blew the save. They won the game. Detroit won the game. But there was still some good hitting, like Jock Peterson, since he's been back from his injury, he's been hot. Trevor Williams I don't know about him and how much longer he's going to stay in the rotation.
Right.
Zach Davies seems to be getting a little better.
Yeah.
Jake Arrieta, Adbert, I like him. Kyle
Mhm.
Hendricks is just gonna be, I think he's just gonna be inconsistent. But the one now that we're most worried about is Trevor Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. He is kind of that sore spot and
Yeah.
that soft spot.
Yes, and
That's
like
just
3,
what it is.
4, 5 innings at the most, and it's rough. 4 or 5
Mhm.
innings. It's not even
Mhm.
like, okay, we're gonna take him out while everything's going good. Don't let
Mhm.
someone see him for the third time. It's like, oh, we have to take him out. So
Right. By that fourth inning.
yeah. So
Yeah. That brings up. No, I won't get into that yet. But that Detroit loss. It's one of those. That's when your team is just having bad luck. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
if any sport has luck involved, it's baseball. And so that one was kind of hurtful, for the Cubs and not so much for us. I wish the Cubs could have pulled out at least one in Cleveland. They're having a hard time completing sweeps. Not
Yeah.
that that's easy for anybody to do. I think they won 2 of those 3 against Pittsburgh, right, in the beginning.
Yeah, let's see. I think so.
And you
I
would
think
have
that's when
hoped.
I think that is when they were kind of hot, and
Mm-hmm.
then things went a little
Kind
bad.
of
So
cool though, yeah, because they were hot coming off
yeah,
that
because
sweep,
yeah, when
right?
they swept the Dodgers, and then they won
Yeah,
the first 2 against Pittsburgh, and
yeah.
then things kind of went bad after that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at the red. A
Yeah,
little bit too much
they
red.
won. They were doing like everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, the Cubs, are they back?" And then
You're
wow,
like, not
wow,
really.
loss. Okay, a win, loss, win. So
Yeah. I don't care how good you are, losing 3 straight. Um, that hurts. That hurts anybody.
and the way these divisions are, like you just can drop. you'll be in second place for a minute, and then you're in last place after the 3 losses. So,
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah,
yeah.
you go from, like you just said, second to last in the same week. It's
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's going to be like that for
Yeah,
for the AL and the NL Central. It's just going to be like that. It's going to be a fight the entire season.
and the Cubs just can't win enough to ever get over that 2 games back or whatever they are from first
Right.
place. Usually, right now they're in 4th place. So I mean,
Mhm.
but they're 1 game out of second, so it's
Yeah, so
not.
it's not a real 4th place,
Yeah,
right?
but it's just it will be, but the way they're so inconsistent, they're playing the Nationals next, and they're very up and down as well.
Mhm.
DC Cubs are coming in,
DC
and
Cubs coming in.
they're like a mirror of each other
Mhm.
almost.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
Cubs have played more games, but they have the same amount of losses. So it's I don't know. You're not sure what you're going to get from the pitching staff. That's what that was always my concern. I figured the hitting would be good enough
Mhm.
because they have all-stars on their team
Mhm.
and former MVP and things like that.
And
But
I think the hitting is good enough.
yeah, the pitching was always my concern,
Mhm.
and I don't know what the issue is with Trevor, but he's I don't know about him. I like that Keegan Thompson. It's like, can you stretch him out to be a starter, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask who do they have on the burner who could slide into that spot in the starting rotation?
Yeah, I don't think anyone
Nobody in particular. Yeah.
unless, but then their bullpen is so sometimey, and now with Keegan Thompson coming out of nowhere and kind of doing well,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
don't now it's like, do you want to take him out of there? But he started one of the games. He has started a game, so if Trevor continues to falter, and like Alex Mills hasn't been good,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, so I don't know. The pitching is gonna continue to be an issue, and I don't think they're gonna do anything about it.
So now let me ask you, what's your gut? Where this is the 16th. What are we looking at as far as the possible like dismantling? How far into June are we thinking?
Well, I know John Morosi, I think maybe that's his name, was
Mhm.
on the Score, and he was saying he thinks the Cubs should trade Bryant by July 1st before the deadline
Mhm.
and get people in single A and people you never heard of. What? Get out of here. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
sit there and wait 3-4 years for
Single
a
A.
suspect. Like famous words from, I think it might have been Dan McNeil on the Score, or someone like, prospects are suspects.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so who wants to wait 3 years for something that may not be good? That's what we've been that's what Cubs fans
I
been doing.
mean, you're
So
talking about, oh, you're not trying to, I mean, are we talking about that kind of rebuild?
that's horrible, right? And see, no one's gonna stand for that type of rebuild.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're gonna get me some ready to go to AAA or already in AAA,
Yeah.
or sitting on the bench and all they need is
Mhm.
a chance to play and they can show what they're gonna do. That's one thing, because that's a 2-year type of issue. But
Yeah.
you're talking
Right.
about 3 years before they come up, and then they have to have all their learning curve, and so then that's 2 more years. Nobody's gonna stand for four
I
or five
mean,
years.
you're talking about a real
Yeah,
breakup, and it
no,
just still seems like they still just have too much talent on that team to just start over. I mean, my God, I can't
yeah. And if
fathom
they
that.
are that broke that they can't afford to go buy some talent, then everybody needs to be fired. Whoever
Yeah.
handled their finances,
Yeah.
who made that idiotic decision to build a hotel, all of them. I
Mhm.
don't really call for people to get fired, but get fired.
Who does stuff? Who makes those types? Is that what's his name? Who's the guy that's been with the team for like
Is that a crane?
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
don't. I
yeah.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's bad. Whoever it is, and then they can come on and talk about, well, our numbers. Your numbers sucked. Okay, your
Yeah.
analytical department was garbage,
Right.
and they need to be gone because there's no one wants to stay in a hotel in Wrigleyville. Get out of here. when I first heard that was happening, I was like, for what? Who's gonna stay there?
That's not. I mean, people. I mean, yeah.
No
Like
one's coming to the
yeah.
city to stay in Wrigleyville.
Like Wrigleyville is not the heart of the city. That's
No,
not the central
no.
location that you'd want to stay in, unless you came just for a game. You know what
and,
I mean?
and
Like
people who came just for a game like that, they're usually within driving distance, so they'll just take
from
themselves
Iowa,
home. All
right?
right.
Or Milwaukee or something. Yeah,
And then I'm sure the hotel was expensive
yeah.
because
Oh
that's just
yeah, because you're
so
top of the line.
yeah. And I bring that up because sometimes that's one of the excuses that they made. Well, all the money we put into the aesthetics and all this other stuff
Hmm.
surrounding. Well, that was your stupid idea. That was dumb.
And how dare you use that as an excuse to not have money for players?
Exactly. When you knew eventually everyone had to get paid. You
Of
played that
course.
game with Chris Bryant to get another year, and now you don't even want him for this year that you
Now you
played
even
this game
want 'em.
for. And so,
Uh,
like, you knew that you thought you had this top talent. So you knew eventually top talent was going to need some top money.
of course. Of
So,
course. Yeah.
yeah,
And
just,
shout out to one of our Plunk fans, Debbie D'Antonio, uh, born and raised in Queens, New York. She's a diehard Mets fan. She says, "I feel the Cubs' pain in losing 3 in a row this past week. My Mets just got swept by the Tampa Bay Rays, coming off a 7-game win streak. Oh, the humanity! You know, it's kind of like that Babbitt thing where you just can't maintain that type of. You can only keep winning so long before you
yeah,
got to drop off and lose some. You know,
yeah,
uh,
you just don't want
yeah.
to drop off and lose 3 in a row.
You really don't. You know what I mean? Like 2 maybe, but then you
Yeah,
need to come back and win at least 1 or 2
exactly. Yeah.
before you drop another one. But you
Yeah,
know,
it is kind of demoralizing to sweep a team and then get swept, or to sweep a
yeah.
team and then you lose the next 3 out of 4. You lose 2,
Mm-hmm.
win 1, and then lose the next one. But you just, especially like for the Cubs, they swept the last year's World Series champion and a
Mm-hmm.
team that is just stacked.
It's just stat. Just
And
had
you
it.
beat their best
Albert Pujols.
pitchers. They had their best
Convincingly.
pitchers.
Convincingly. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was like, okay.
yeah. I was like, oh,
So
but
I don't know. In hindsight, was that Cubs coming on strong, or was that the Dodgers just that was their down period, or did they just
well,
meet at the same time? You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
yeah.
If there was a time to face the Dodgers, that was the week.
Right.
They
Right.
had some injuries. They were kind
Mhm.
of, but the Cubs they were coming on, and Chris Bryant was
They
just
were.
like the hottest hitter in baseball.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it happened at a great time for the
Yeah.
Cubs.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Dodgers, but the
Not for the
Cubs. Yeah.
Dodgers. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, the Dodgers, they're in third place. They're 2 games out of first. So
Who's who's in front out in the NL West?
the Giants, and then the
Okay.
Padres are a game behind them.
Okay. All right. Well, see I just read they just picked up was that Pujols?
Oh yeah, the Dodgers.
So he just said, I'm gonna just, you know, I don't want to sell my house yet, so I'm gonna just, you know,
And you wonder, like, how much is he really gonna play? But
yeah. I mean, yeah, in the NL, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
and if the Angels didn't want him anymore,
I think you're looking at a pinch hitter at best. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and,
Yeah, I think you're looking at a late. You know, we're pulling a pitcher, so let's get somebody up there. Maybe he'll have a night. Like T Nick says, everybody has a birthday. You know. Shout out to T Nick and congratulations on
mm,
his
yes,
engagement.
I
Yeah.
saw that. I was like, what?
See Nick doing the damn thing. All
I was like,
right.
wow, take a
Gotta
trip
walk
and
that
a
aisle.
surprise engagement.
Woo!
Congratulations to you and your lovely
And your
fiance.
lovely bride to be. He took a ride on the cake
That
wagon.
was
That was beautiful. I love it.
my goodness. That was I was like, whoa, what? What am I reading? because I just
All
saw the
right.
picture with her hand. I was like,
Right,
wait a
right.
minute.
Right. We only show our hands for one reason.
That looks like an
It ain't no
engagement ring
damn
on that
Beyonce
finger.
dance. Right.
And she had the shirt
Oh yeah.
giving you the ring finger instead of the
Oh
middle
yeah.
finger. But
Oh yeah.
congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations, guys. That's beautiful. That's
All right,
beautiful.
you ready for your skinny?
What's the skinny on the
Much
south
better. Woo, look
side?
at that. Look at all that
Man,
green.
all that green, and forever the very cautious, very
Well,
cautious.
because you know the down, because there's ebbs and flows, and so
Yes,
you know,
yes,
that bad period is gonna
yeah,
come.
yeah. So, look very good. I mean, a sweep of Minnesota. We swept KC even before the Minnesota series. Beating Minnesota is just so satisfying. Like I still have memories from '08 and dealing with that '08 Minnesota team anchored by Mauer and I forget the other guy's name who played.
Wait,
Right. Wait,
Justin
Joe
Moreau,
Morale. Yeah, yeah. The other
Justin something.
Morneau. Justin
No, there we
Morneau.
go.
Right. I
Justin
knew it was
Moreau.
like a French Canadian sounding name. Right. Yeah. Those heavy hitters and that Carlos Gomez running around his bases. So it was sweet to beat those guys. Always good to win in a division. I wish we could do better against Cleveland, but we got them coming up soon enough. I can't. What I'd like to just give kudos to over this last 7 days is our bullpen. Um, Starters have been solid, not great, but solid, and the bullpen has played really well. Somebody got touched up today though.
Oh,
I think yeah, I don't know who it was
what's
at the
this?
end of today.
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um.
Cody.
Oh, how do you say his last? Hewer.
I call him Hoyer, Cody
Oh.
Hoyer, but it might be Hewer. He struggled. He struggled a bit out of the bullpen. Dylan Cease again, 5 2/3. No earned, 3 hits. He's extra solid. He's been one of the real anchors while maybe Giolito kind of figure some things out.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you about that. What's happening with him?
I'm not sure. It's looking like he's having some. I think he's having some control issues.
Okay.
Like it looks like I'm looking at his slider is not quite moving the way it's supposed to, and kind of hanging in there, and getting rocked a little bit. But I hope that it's early. I hope there's time to figure that out, and he's got a good supporting cast. Um, with that bullpen has been really good over this past week. Even Crotchet, came in
He
and
hasn't earned back crochet yet.
no,
Okay.
no, he hasn't. But somebody who's been interesting, and you mentioned this earlier, is about where do you keep him in the bullpen, coming out of the bullpen, or put him in a rotation. Michael Kopech has done a bit of both and has been successful, pretty successful, doing both, and he's kind of anchored in a way that bullpen. But I would like to see him get back into that starting rotation at some times. But Lance Lynn has come back from injury. He's pitched well. Aaron Bummer and of course Liam Hendricks has done well. So, and it's this last 7 days. It's just everything's been firing. The runs, the Sox have been scoring runs without depending on the long ball, which I love to see. And I love that so much because that's how they won the World Series. Was small ball, manufacturing runs, aggressive base running, uh, but smart and aggressive base running. Key hits. Getting taking advantage of those opportunities late in the game when they need those key hits. My man Jermaine coming in, he delivers. When he comes in late for sometimes for a pinch hit or the DH, and he's able to deliver. You know what I mean? And he's not just hitting for power; he's dropping base hits in there. Moncada's bat has really been coming back around, and we'll get to the hats for bats award soon. But what more can I say about Tim Anderson? I mean, he's just a stud. You know what I mean? Just he can do it all. From hitting for power, hitting for average. He can run like the wind. He's filled into that shortstop position pretty nicely. The mental part of it, he's really starting to get a good understanding of. I see his timing on those throws, some of those tricky throws that he would just try to. He knew he didn't know how much time he had, so he just tried to throw a strike, and didn't have the accuracy. And you can kind of tell he's just kind of calming himself down, knows he can set his feet, knows how much time, and that's just kind of the mental game that he's getting better with. So yeah, like I can't give a lot of criticism right now. I think there was a little news story last week when we were off. I think the Tony La Russa the Tony La Russa story had a little traction for like 2 days.
Oh yeah, the with the not knowing that he could have used a different runner.
You're right. Instead of putting
Liam
Liam
Hendricks,
Hendricks
yeah.
in
And also, like, everyone talked about him, but what, no one else on his staff knew either?
that's
Like,
what
that's a whole
that's a
coaching staff
problem.
issue. Like, no, okay, he didn't know, you didn't know either. No one knew. None of the players
So
knew. Nobody
no
knew.
one knew, or people knew but didn't say anything.
There, like, maybe they thought it was okay because it's like, well, what's the big deal? We're just gonna probably try to bun him the third anyway. I don't know the reason why no one said anything. Well, Tony said he didn't realize it, so okay.
Yeah.
He
So
admitted he didn't know.
you're
But
like,
like,
oh, I didn't know
nobody
that.
else, nobody said, hey, tapped him like, Tony, you can use somebody else.
Right. And I don't know what's a bigger problem. The fact that possibly no one on the staff knew the rule, or that no one has the balls to tap Tony and
Yeah.
say, "You sure about this?" You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
So they had to have classroom time that next week. It's time to pull
yeah,
out the rule book, get a teacher,
yeah,
and we're gonna
yeah.
start getting tested on these rules.
And if Tony doesn't feel he needs to go relearn any rules because he's Tony La Russa and he wears
Yes,
his Hall
Hall
of
of
Fame
Fame.
ring in the dugout,
Then then give
then
that
he needs
responsibility
somebody
to
to do.
somebody
Yeah,
else. Yeah,
thank you.
like
Like
he could say
here's my book guy. He knows all the
exactly.
rules.
He's like, I don't have time for this. This is your job. When something's
Thank right,
happening, you need to come like Tony. This is
right,
this rule. Like he could
right.
delegate it like that if, like you say, he feels he's too Tony LaRussa for it.
Right, right. I'm too important to be
Yes.
captured.
But someone in that dugout has to know the rules.
And somebody had damn well better learn them fast.
Yes.
Because that could get bad. That could,
Well, now they
that
know. Now they
yeah. I
all
mean
know that one.
that arguably that cost us that game. You know what I mean? Because I forget who was catching, but like, well, he's not worried about Liam as a base runner. You know what I mean? So it kind of just changed the whole complexion of that inning. And speaking of that, how are you feeling about the man on second and extended innings thus
Should I come
far?
out the skinny?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. All right. Did I stop sharing?
Yep.
How do I feel about when it works for your team, it's great.
Yeah.
And when it works against your team, it's like, ain't this about a
Stupid rule.
like, this is the dumbest rule ever. But when your team wins, like, yes, greatest rule ever.
Ever.
And when you have a team that struggles with offense, like the Northsiders, greatest rule ever. And
True
it's
indeed.
amazing, though, if you look at it, how many people still can't even get that run in. There have been so many times where you watch the game,
Who
or
can't get
they
that
both,
running.
they only get one, like each
Mm-hmm.
team. So now you're going to the next one. Like, it's amazing
Right.
that people still can't even move them over, get them in.
You know, baseball is a very hard sport, man.
But I think it's it doesn't bother me the way it may bother
Mm-hmm.
other people. It's fine,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it works out.
Yeah. You know, at first I didn't like it because I thought it was unfair to the pitcher, but correct me if I'm wrong. I found out if that runner scores, it doesn't
Yeah, it's not
get
earned run. Yeah,
charged,
it
doesn't
doesn't
get
go
charged
on
to
their
the pitcher.
ERA. Yeah,
And I thought it did at first, and I was like, well, that's terrible.
yeah,
But then I
that
found out it doesn't.
yeah, that
And I
would
was like, okay, yeah.
nothing's earned until after.
Gotcha.
So if
Right,
that first
right.
one
Until
comes
what's
in,
earned. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But
So
if you
that batter
continue,
on is earned.
right,
Right.
yeah, if you continue
Right.
to let in people, well, now that's your fault.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In any situation.
So when the Cubs lost that game against Detroit and Kimbrel came in, okay, you let them tie it up because that was the
Mhm.
quote unquote easy run. But now the problem is, okay, you couldn't get out anybody else. So now you're the problem.
Right.
You're the issue.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of like, well, when you let that, because all someone has to do is bunt and then you try to sacrifice them in.
Right.
You get the one
Right.
run. But then if you start walking people, hitting people, and letting people get line drives,
yeah. Well,
so
then it's
you were going to lose this game, even though the person didn't start at second.
right. So I guess to keep that in mind, it is what it is. Yeah. The way he pitched that game, well,
yeah.
If
someone's like,
anyway,
if a pitcher's letting you smack all these singles and doubles,
yeah, he's just
they
not
were
got
giving
it.
that up. Yeah,
your closer. Yeah. He just didn't have
it
the stuff today.
So yeah,
it is what it is, and some guys just don't have it on a given day. But
yeah, but I should have looked up what the record is. But it's surprisingly, it was very close on the away team and the home team. Their win-loss record with the
extra innings.
Extra innings.
Really?
Even putting the man on second base. I remember they were talking about it. Now it may have changed since the last time someone was talking about it, but it's not there's not as big of an advantage as some people thought there would be.
Right, because you think it's an advantage for the away team, right?
Well, like you always like, okay, so the away team's always going to score. That's what you think.
Right.
So now I'm the home team, and now I have to score 2, but really just score 1 and live to see another day,
and then you get another inning,
right? Because you'll get another inning. So it's okay. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, it has sped some games up, and I think, well, I don't think we know that's the purpose of it, is to kind of speed up those extra inning games where you're looking up and it's like, damn, it's the 14th inning. Like we've played 2 games now, and it gets, we've seen some terribly long games that like please end this,
But then the problem is when they keep scoring that 1 run, everyone keeps scoring 1 run. So now you're still in the 15th inning.
You're still in the 15th inning, but at least you saw some runs scored.
That's true. Yeah, it wasn't
through the extra inning. It's not like been 0-0. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to look at it glass half full. And there's another one. Oh, the doubleheader, the 7th inning doubleheaders now. How do you feel about that? That one I almost think could be a little bit more problematic than anything.
Yeah, it's
A
Well,
lot can
yeah,
happen
it's
in those last 2 innings.
exactly, and sometimes you because I think it was the Sox just had theirs, and I
Mhm.
almost forgot that it was only 7 innings. I was like, it's
Mhm.
over. I was like, oh yeah, it was a double header.
The doubleheader.
Because it was like, so no one, so we're not going to see, Abreu, or if it's the Cubs, we don't get to see Bryant again.
Right.
But it's okay because it's also hard to sit through 18 innings of baseball for the
In one
players.
day.
Right.
Right.
But it
Right.
really makes you have to be quick on your decisions. Like, so now they're
Mhm.
pulling pitchers in the third inning and, fourth inning
Third, yes,
because you don't have
yes,
many
yes.
innings to work with. So,
Right. Right, right. It shortens the staff all
mhm.
around, which I guess depending on what staff you're talking about could be a good thing or a bad thing.
But
You
I
know.
think for all in the end, it's going to be a bad thing because I know you want to talk about this. These the bullpen is just going to be taxed.
Mhm.
You're not
Mhm.
letting anyone go past 5 innings
Mhm.
because of the numbers when the third time around in
The
the batting order. I'm
number
sorry,
games.
but how did everybody else do all right? And here, I know I'm going to sound like an old person. Back
Or
in the
just somebody
day,
who's watched baseball in the last 10
yeah,
years.
like back in the day, folks went at least 7. It went from, remember when the bullpen becoming important, it was like 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Okay, you had your 7th, your 8th, and your 9th.
Right.
Okay, now you need a 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's
I mean,
gonna
they're
find
taking
that?
middle relief to like new levels. I mean, this is like, okay, early middle relief, mid
Yeah,
middle relief. It's like,
and then
yeah,
it used to be the starter goes 7, so now you have your setup and your closer. That's it.
right,
Then it
right,
was like, okay, we have 3 great bullpens, so now we only have to go 6. Now it's
right,
5. Soon it's gonna be like 4. There's just gonna be
right. Yeah.
the
When is it end?
there's going to be an opener because remember people have been talking about that, playing around with that, where there's someone
Mhm.
like the closer, but now
Who
they
comes in?
open the
Oh,
game
right.
like someone, this like Michael Kopech. He's your
Uh
opener,
huh.
so
Uh
he gives
huh.
you those 3 strong innings. Now you bring in whatever you want in the middle, and Liam
Right.
Hendricks comes and closes it. But like,
That's interesting.
but if you're 162 games, and if you're the Cubs staff, now you already have their pitchers can't make it anyway because they're just not that good.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
but by July or August, everyone's gonna be worthless because they would have played so many games. They would have been in
Mhm.
so many games.
Mhm. I mean, and it is, you just said it, like, it did used to be more like your relief pitchers came in the 8th unless a guy was getting rocked, right?
Yes,
And now it's the 6th, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
and Debbie's, yeah, right, exactly. Debbie D'Antonio. I'm gonna pronounce your last name incorrectly. What's the last? Morente? Morante?
Morante. I'm not
Morante.
sure how to pronounce it.
She's right. Like the damn pitch counts. It's these
Yeah,
damn pitch counts. The
yeah.
our analytics say the third time through the order. Well, we've always known that.
I've always known
I
that.
did not need a data analyst to tell me what the numbers say the third time. Duh. Of course, if I
That's
see you
part
for
of,
the third
yeah,
time,
of time,
I'm
of
probably
course.
gonna do a little better against you. But
But
that's
you wanted that. You wanted to see your batters get the third
third time.
chance at this
And then
guy.
if you're a pitcher, so you probably should have held something back to switch it up a little bit
Mhm.
that third time
Mhm.
around, which is what the smart, successful pitchers
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, I fed you all these fastballs and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Now this third time around,
I'm
catch
gonna
this
throw you
hook.
something else. Right. I'm gonna
And
throw something
yeah,
different that you
so
haven't seen.
it's just, but I just can't see the bullpen lasting long. It's
Yeah.
they're going to be worn out. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And what is it for? Like, is it to save starting pitcher for a postseason? Like, but even bad pitchers are getting, or mediocre pitchers are getting pulled after 5. So
Yeah,
like,
it's and then you'll hear the announcers. Well, the number said because of that third time around, you don't want them to see the third time around. But I can speak mostly on the Cubs because the Sox have a decent. Their bullpen's better, so maybe it works for them. But for the Cubs, now they're throwing out Tapera or someone like that who's not
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So Adbert did well for 5 innings, maybe gave up a run. Now you bring in this bullpen, and now the Cubs are down 5-0 because you didn't
Mhm.
want Adbert to face somebody for the third time. It's
He
just
couldn't have done worse than, yeah.
exactly. You're like he give up 5 runs on his own.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. I mean, he
but
goose egged them at first. He couldn't have gotten that worse.
they let Kyle Hendricks go longer today, and they'll let Jake Arrieta go longer. But I don't know. They're
And
gonna
they
wear out their
usually
bullpen.
do that after they've really taxed their bullpen for
Yes.
like 2 days. Then they're like, okay, Jake's looking okay today. Kyle's looking okay today. We could push him longer, But you could tell that's still not like what they want to do.
No, and then you'll hear like Chesley JD on the Cubs broadcast. He's like, yeah, the Cubs really need a long outing from Kyle Hendricks. That bullpen's kind of taxed. Well, that's because the manager decided to
Yeah.
tax that bullpen.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate that. Like, we need a long outing for them. 6 innings. That's not a long outing.
Like, you need a complete game. And you
It's
need
not a long outing.
you need 7 innings at least 3 times in a row to set it back up. Like, I don't even know who the setup man. I think it's Chafin. I think Chafin has found his role as Kimbrel's setup man. But the other, I don't know who's good the 6th inning. Maybe Keegan's getting ready to become good the 6th inning, but
yeah. I mean, and nobody's that good that you bring in the 5th and 6th inning.
No,
because you're keeping your better bullpen guys towards the end.
Yes. And so, like, okay, now let's say the 6th inning, the game's on the line. Okay, now you're bringing in Chafin because the game's on the line. Mm-hmm. So you can't really give up these runs because you also know the Cubs aren't always going to score. Mm-hmm. So now you bring him in. He did what he had to do. Now you still got the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Who's taking that 7th and 8th because you already used Chafin to get you out the 6th?
That's a lot of baseball.
Yes. All right. You know you're saving Kimbrel for the 9th.
That's the third of the game left.
Right. But now who's taking 7, 8? Because you use your best guy.
I mean, and that's where a guy like Michael Kopech has come in handy for us. But again, like you said, not everybody has that flexibility. Yeah. I mean, Tony La Russa, this time I felt unfairly took some heat last week for, I think he left, was it Rodon? And they thought they left Rodon and like he got pulled after like 5 2/3 or something ridiculous.
And they said they left him in too long.
Yeah. Like, well, he should have saw he was tired. Like,
okay, really? Here's another thing. And I'm not an athlete, and so athletes are going to get on me when I say this. I'm going to need you to get your conditioning together because I don't understand why Lucas Giolito was tired after 7. I don't know why Rodon or anyone's tired after 5. And Rodon, you've been hurt every year, so you should be energized. You should have so much energy. It's ridiculous.
Refresh.
So, get your stamina together, players. Like, oh my God, he's tired after 70 pitches in the 7th inning. What? Get out of here.
Is it a situation? Overall, the athleticism in baseball and all professional sports is far beyond anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was looking at some old footage, like some old game from the 80s. I'm looking at how the guys are built. I'm like, these guys just look like they just got off of work driving a Wonder Bread truck and
like
smoked a cigarette. Yeah.
Don't pull fat. That's why nobody was ever hurt. They were like, I can't pull fat.
Guys were either fat or skinny.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see like super like cut up muscular guys. They were either like skinny, lanky guys or a chubby guy who was a pitcher or a catcher. Bartolo Colon is 47 years old.
So doughy.
And he's still pitching.
Oh my God.
That little butterball.
He was so doughy.
He still is.
Like, that's what you like when you see Chafin. Chafin looks like he could be one of those, like, he's just awfully shaped.
the shooter, Rod Beck's type. Like, yeah, I love it. He's so throwback. I love it. Bartolo.
That's our hero.
I always love Bartolo. Yeah. And
Yeah,
man, he did play with the Mets. Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Yep.
And his whole look was just like he was always just like Doughboy. He was kind of pale and just fluffy, and
And his look on his face was
it's
like he wasn't impressed by himself or anyone.
and I could never dream to be the athletes that they are, and
Of course,
maybe I'm probably speaking out of turn when I say they need to get their stamina up, but I don't
No, you're not.
understand.
We can do that. We can speak out.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
I don't understand if they're some of the greatest athletes in the world and they're in so much better shape physically than they were just 10 years ago. Why is their stamina even worse?
Tired. You're tired. Like you got to pull him. He can't go past 5.
And then how many pitches did the person throw? I didn't see the game. So maybe he was at 100. Okay, then I understand you take him out 105 innings.
God.
But sometimes they take them out of 5 innings and they've only thrown 80 pitches. They can't go one more inning.
Exactly. They're not even talking about the pitch count as much anymore.
No,
it's just how many innings.
It's the third time through the order.
That's what matters. Not even the pitch count anymore.
Nope. So now, if they've been really terrible, well, they're getting to the third round in the 4th inning. So now they're done in the 4th. And so now I got to see Alec Mills give up about 5 runs.
See, like you got to, hey, look, these starting pitchers make starting pitching money. And fuck it. Excuse me. Hell, you having a bad day? Well, I need you out there still to work a little bit longer.
Yeah, sometimes they need to just take it for the team.
Just take this. I need you to, and now I'm seeing Rizzo pitching, and I'm seeing
Matt Duffy pitch,
Duffy pitch. I saw the Yerminator pitch. I'm like, holy.
Yeah, that's the new thing now. Okay, and then this will stop the moment one of these position players rips up their arm thinking that they can throw this pitch.
Like your starting first baseman needs Tommy John surgery.
Exactly.
Like what?
And that'll be the end of that. That's how they ended jumping on home plate after a home run when folks started tearing ACLs.
Yeah, started tearing ACLs. right.
So the first time that infielder or outfielder tears up these torn UCL or whatever happens,
whatever, yeah.
Then they'll stop doing that nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, and we're looking at them in the 6th and 7th inning.
Yes.
Like, what is this? This is
like, I don't care about.
I don't like it.
I don't care about such and such ERA. You don't want him to be punished. Oh no, be punished. Feel this, and maybe you'll learn.
Feel this.
Learn from your mistakes.
Thank you, and go to sleep on your big bed stuffed with money. I don't want to hear it. Sob story. I'm sorry. I know it's not all about
I don't have any money in my pillow, and I'm gonna complain about you and your money. Yeah, that's right.
Damn right.
Yeah, it is maddening, and I know I'm not an athlete, and blah blah blah. No, I don't know what it's like, but come on now.
Put it like this: we watched like damn near 40 years of baseball before this. And it wasn't a problem. So you can't tell me that things have just gotten worse for them. I mean, the technology is state of the art, far like beyond our wildest dreams what these guys have access to now versus, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? They should not be needing to play less.
When they're better, they're eating better, they're working out better, their conditions are better, state-of-the-art facilities,
equipment,
medical staffs, all the uppers they need. All
the uppers.
You better get some more of them damn
uppers.
Yeah, so all the uppers they need.
You need more yellow jackets.
Right, they need to go ahead and have that bowl of candy. Back in and maybe folks can play.
It was like a mystery bowl.
Yes, right. They thought they were always Mike and Ike's. Those are not Mike and Ike's kids.
Mike and Good and Plenty.
Right.
Deb said, "Pop open a beer and have a smoke." They certainly did. Used to do
it
that.
didn't hurt
Remember
John
Mark
Lester.
Grace? Yeah, remember Mark Grace smoking cigarettes in
Yes,
the dugout?
Mark Grace did baseball by day and chicks by night, according to his T-shirts.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. All right.
That's what his T-shirt said. But remember, in the Red Sox dugout, it was John Lester and all the Red Sox who won. They were eating chicken and drinking beer.
Oh, wow. I didn't remember that. Okay. I mean,
it was a whole thing.
Look, it's baseball. Like you can. I mean, I heard stories about MJ and them drinking beer at halftime.
Well, yeah, what's his name? Didn't Charles Barkley say he played a playoff game drunk, hungover?
Yeah, those guys.
But I don't know. We can stay on this forever about this.
Yeah, complaining, but don't get us to complaining. We'll be a 4-hour show. Right. All right. Yeah, I got too many complaints.
And we got Debbie all riled up too. So.
Right. Debbie, we're sorry. We got you. Yes, Babe Ruth was super pudgy.
Yes, he was.
And he liked to smoke and drink, and he loved the ladies.
I mean Willie, Hank Aaron, he wasn't in the best of shape.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. So, well, let's flip the script for 1 minute. Some mediocre, sad, disappointing news. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad the season's over. The Chicago Bulls. I had a discussion on the page the other day. I think the Bulls are on, matter of fact. I wonder how they're doing.
That's what I'm getting ready to turn to see.
Yeah.
My mother told me to stop turning my head to look at the TV during the show. They're up by 8.
Okay. I mean, so there was a discussion. So like we had a back and forth. My concern was like, and I was concerned before the season started when AK, I just call him AK because I can't remember how to pronounce his name. They didn't make any moves during the offseason. Like nothing. It's like, all right. I mean, like wasn't expecting a big splash. I know that wasn't what
Garrett
it was
Temple
about.
was their main move, I think.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think I was just more concerned about the people that they held on to. Like, guys, this bump, we're starting the season with, gotta look at this Felicia's stupid face.
Why you so hard on Felicio?
I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't like Felicio, and I cannot stand Denzel Valentine. That horse tooth. Sum him up.
I don't mind Felicio, but you could have Denzel. Him and his album.
The only reason you don't mind Felicio is because he doesn't play anymore, and he's not out there messing anything. And he looks like a little boy.
He's just, you gotta have he's like Dickie Simpkins. Sometimes you just gotta have those.
Yeah, no, but that was cool when we had Jordan. It's okay to have Dickie Simpkins and Jordans on your team, but I'll never forget that during that final when Dickie was.
Crack it up. Yes, crack it up about Dickie Simpkins.
Derek Dickie Simpkins. But yeah, so like I don't know. I know, what's the saying? Rome wasn't built in a day, and you can't build a championship contender in an off season unless you're New Brooklyn Nets. But I got no choice but to give them the benefit of the doubt and see what they're going to do moving forward. What are you feeling about like what needs to happen? I mean, point guard. I'll just say that a bunch of times.
I had issues also with coaching. Okay. But I don't have as much faith as other people that they're going to bring in anything good.
Yeah, I got
Everyone's talked
nothing.
about Lonzo Ball, but they'll be fighting the Knicks for that. And I'm
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball.
yeah.
Where am I going? All players love the Vooch and the Zach connection, but that's it. That's
That's it.
all. People keep talking about Pat Williams. He's okay, whatever.
It's okay. Yeah.
I'm not thinking and Lonzo Ball isn't even that great. He's great enough, but like he's not like I'm not like talking about Kevin Durant trying to figure out where he's going.
Right.
But it's no one's really thinking like, yeah, I gotta go play with that Pat Williams and that Kobe White.
And yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna play with Zach
No,
and
they
Vooch.
are not.
But everyone likes the other pieces.
Right.
But so now I don't even know if the Bulls will have all the money. Here we go again. Always talking about a team with money. But if I'm a team and I'm looking at the full picture of pieces, I don't see where they even have the bench. Like I just don't see where they have enough. I could be wrong.
No,
And
because
so
they have no
people,
depth. I mean, yeah, half the people I want to see gone, like their entire bench. I mean, not the entire bench,
see,
but
I don't want to see everyone gone that you want to see gone, but I'm sure all those people are going to be gone. But I don't need Kobe White to be my starter. So I don't know how he's going to work going forward as always coming off the bench, because I think he thinks and other people think that he earned the starting role with his play these last few games. No, because he's still a shoot first and he can still get out of control.
He's not a true point guard.
But
He's
he can he can be
He's
your
an undersized.
offense.
He's an undersized shooting guard.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Who masquerades as a point guard
because of his size.
Because he's only 6'4".
So he can come in and be your instant offense off the bench,
which I liked when he was doing that.
So I don't know, but like I said, I also had issues with coaching. So I know everybody loves Billy Donovan, but I am still waiting on offensive plays. I am still waiting on someone to coach the players to stop doing the things that they do. As far as somebody's hot, why aren't you going to them anymore? It's too much on this team. Let me get mine. There, I know they are. You'll hear them on the broadcast. All this is unselfish team, but when you watch them, like if Patrick Williams is hot, all of a sudden, let me get mine real quick. Here comes Thad Young dribbling in the post, and he's going to lose the dribble every time.
Right.
So, okay, you've missed 10 threes. I'm going to need you to stop. But nope. Let me go ahead and shoot this three from the Bulls.
Sounds like you're talking about Bucky Dent.
No, it was even besides him. They all did it. Zach would do it.
Zach
Kobe,
would do it.
Like everyone who's Tomas, Laurie, like everyone would do it. Now you missed 10 as a team. Just stop. Go ahead and because it's a long rebound and they never get the rebound. So now they'll have like a 17-point lead. Within 5 minutes, they're now losing by 8 because they keep shooting threes.
Long rebound. Other team takes it back down quick, gets set really quick and score because their defense is trash.
Yes.
Which I will definitely look at a coach because defense at this level, it's just real effort and knowing where to be, knowing how to rotate. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing any professional defense getting played.
And then they would have moments where they were playing it and it was good. And then, we fans, Stacey King fall in love with Daniel Tice, or they fall in love with this player because they did something. But then when that player got a chance to play a little more, okay, now you see
he's
why.
He just had the hot sauce that day.
Because I'm sorry, if I'm getting traded for Luke Cornett is one of the pieces, I got to look at why did someone want Luke Cornett over me? And Luke Cornett went to the Celtics and did all right shooting threes. So it's just
like they say, is no bad players, just bad teachers or bad
Yeah,
coaches.
and
Put
I
it put
don't.
a guy in the right situation.
Yes, and I don't mind Daniel Tice, but people are like we got to sign him. Not if it's going to take up some money of something that we really
Yeah,
need.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I feel like you got a true star, and Zach, he's not going to be a real star until he gets to play in the postseason.
right.
I mean, otherwise, I mean, he's, Mitch Richmond back in the day, just a phenomenal player who never got on a national game. You know what I mean? Because his team was so bad. And you're seeing that. Zach
Yeah.
LaVine doesn't get we're not getting any play on TNT, the games. And,
Mm-mm.
so
And
that's the
if they
problem.
get another player next year, they probably will. And like I said, that one show, there's never a good time to get COVID, but boy, did he pick a terrible time.
Yeah. Right when that was like,
Yeah.
okay, they can make this push.
Yes. And it's like, and then you're like, how are you still catching COVID? Like, what are you doing that you're still catching it?
Who knows? Who knows?
So yeah, there
Who
was that.
knows?
So that, and then it happened at a time where they were playing good teams.
Right.
and
Right.
and Vooch, he has great offense, but you knew when he was coming here, defense is garbage.
That's not his
Garbage.
thing. I mean, and you mentioned like, when are they going to start drawing up plays? My God, I feel like that when I watch any basketball game now.
Yeah, that's true. I
Like,
don't
do you know
understand.
anything except a pick and roll?
And then I'm gonna drive, and then I'll drive to the basket, and I'm gonna throw it out to that person
I'm gonna
standing
kick
at
it out to the shooter for the three. Like, it's just the launching of threes, and it looks terrible when your team isn't that good at shooting threes.
And there's a lot of teams that aren't,
including us.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, go Bulls. Thanks for another season. Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for having hopes up. Boy, when they made that trade, like,
boy, when they made that trade, boy. I just said, finally, because I was looking at the games previous, and I'm like, man, we don't have a big man, a real big man. And when we got Vooch, I was like, there we go. We got the Vooch and LaVine connection.
And I think at the time they had made a move in the standings. So I think they were already in the playoffs at that time, or in the playing game. So we were like, oh man, we about to move to like the sixth spot in the division.
Couldn't even fall into a playing game.
Lost about 3-4 games in a row.
I'm sorry. I was not expecting, a contender this year, but I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was expecting, because I mean, all you have to do is be the 10th team to even get in the playing game. I was expecting that.
At least, right?
I was expecting watching at least one more game after the season was over, even before Vooch was here.
Even before, because at one time we were like in the 16th or something. It was like, okay, we looking decent.
Because it's time out for this. Where are we in the draft? Let's get more people, and y'all need to win this like that.
I don't want to talk no more about rebuild and.
And I'm not even talking about championship, because I know they're nowhere near that. But can we get in the top 4 or 5?
Thank you. Can we be respectable?
Damn.
I want a respectable team. I'm not asking for a lot.
That is not asking for too much.
And I don't want to talk about rebuilds and evaluations anymore. I'm not saying I'm smarter than the worst GM in the league. I'm not.
Right, no.
But I didn't need a whole lot even coming into the season to see where the dead weight was. You know what I mean? Like you could just look at a little bit of tape and ask around. I mean, who's terrible in this locker room? Do you think if they got Zach in a room by himself and be like, okay, who we keep, who do we get rid of? You think he wouldn't talk? He'd spill it. He'd be like, well,
but he does have some loyalty to some people that other people probably don't like, so he probably wouldn't talk about them.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's just, I don't know.
Because he does have some tight. I don't think he was all that hurt for the people who left this time, but some of the other people that'll be gone, he's a little tighter with them. So I think he thinks and he thought that he could play better with some of these people if the right plays were called. I think
I did too.
Even he has problems with like, we don't call stuff. Like, can we do something else?
We're just gonna shoot. We're just gonna run it that, bring the ball up, and whoever decides to shoot a three.
All right, because if that's the case, then it needs to be in my hands. Like,
and so now I'm gonna start chucking threes.
Right. He's like, I can do that. Vooch can do that. The rest of you all.
And he's right. And there's no pecking order.
No.
Like, whose team is it? I mean, we can say Zach because he's the best player, but that's not what it looks like on the court. They don't defer to him like they should. You know what I mean? Like,
except one who does is Pat Williams. He defers to everyone. Like, you were their first pick. You got to start shooting. You got to start doing something. You know, sometimes he always has to look like, huh? Like, if you say his name, like, huh? He gets the ball, huh? Shoot! You're good. Shoot!
I thought Wendell Carter Jr. was a bad influence on him. So maybe because his old smiling ass. Boy, if you don't stop smiling, making mistakes and smiling. Like, boy, come on.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh man. So that's our Chicago Bulls. God bless them. There's always next year. There's always next year.
Well, I'm done with basketball till next year.
Oh yeah, because I can't take a bunch of.
I will follow this to see how well Tibbs does.
Because they're like the New York Bulls.
No, and I hate that's why, because they're us. So
I hate low key like wanting the Knicks to win any game.
Yeah, I'm not a Knicks fan.
That feels so dirty that I want to see them win games, but it's just because I still like Tibbs.
Yeah, because you just always
want,
and then
and Taj, like
and you always want to, because Tibbs got a raw deal here, and so you always want Tibbs to prove I can win with whatever. I can win if people follow what I want to do. If I get buy-in from the stars, which he always does, and that's why he keeps bringing Derek with him, because then Derek gets everybody else's like this man knows what he's doing.
On board.
If you get on board,
I mean, you see what he did in Minnesota.
Yeah,
he brought them out of the cellar into the playoffs.
Yes, so then
they fired him
because some people can't take it.
Because they're soft ass stars.
That's what Derek.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Not Derek. What did Jimmy tell him? He's soft as a baby. What did he say?
I don't remember.
I was like, man,
he went off in practice.
No, he did it during a game recently. I was like, you have to do that so close to Mother's Day. You know he's mourning his mama.
Oh wow.
I was like, hey,
he dogged Karl Anthony.
Karl Anthony during the game. And he called him, said he was soft as baby. I think.
Well,
I was like, wow,
kind of is.
Yeah,
I mean, they are soft. They are soft. You know what I mean? And I think just even a young player going to play in New York just feels like, all right, you can't be soft in New York. You're in New York. You're playing in the Garden. You can't act soft.
And those fans aren't going to allow it.
They're not going to know. So like, I hate it. I hate it. Wendell Carter Jr. smiling all the time. Like, just like a little boy. Smile. You're mad. All right, let's close this out.
All right,
with some predictions. I got all angry talking about the Bulls. I was in a good mood. It's over. All right, so upcoming, the Cubs' upcoming schedule. Like we mentioned earlier, we got the DC
Cubs, the return of John Lester in Game 1.
Oh, he's pitching Game 1. Beautiful.
Yeah, I might have to go buy some Miller Lite.
Beautiful. Get to see Schwarber,
Starlin,
Schwarber, Dave
Dave
Martinez. Let's
Martinez.
call him an ex-Cub. I mean,
Yeah, he is. He played for
he
the Cubs. He
is,
managed with the
yeah,
Cubs.
yeah. So
I sent him $1 for his birthday.
yes, Dave Martinez, yes.
So yeah,
DC
we got
Cubs
the
in the building.
DC Cubs. Starlin had an 11-game hit streak. He's kind of in a minor slump. Schwarber
Okay.
has really improved. So I see the Cubs. They also have to face what's the guy's name? Scherzer.
Mm-hmm.
I see a split.
Mm-hmm. So do you think they drop?
Nope. Cubs win 3 out of 4. I changed that.
Bang. There we go. That's what I like to hear. So they beat Lester. Got to beat Lester.
Yes, they beat Lester and Scherzer.
You gotta spoil the homecoming for Lester.
And then the other 2 guys that are pitching for the Washington, they're just like the Cubs. They have very suspect pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So
up and down. Yeah,
you getting that
and
bullpen.
they got and their ace. Well, no, I guess Scherzer's still technically their ace, but
still good. But
Lester is kind of like he's really their second best pitcher.
Yeah, he's been good because Strasburg's on the DL. So
yeah,
as usual.
So as usual. Man, John Lester's like hillbilly ass. He just keeps throwing that thing. You know what I mean? You talk about like he's a shooter. I mean, he's like you can tell he just drinks whiskey when he feels a cold coming on. He got COVID, just drank a handle of Jack, and
he was out for a long time too with COVID.
I know he was. So he was still drinking probably, but he's a real warrior. You know what I mean? He's a real warrior. He kept that Cubs team. Yeah.
He was the greatest free agent signing in Cubs history.
All right.
I mean, with him came a World Series.
You can't argue that. Yeah. Like, what came of it? A World Series?
World Series.
Yeah. Because Soriano didn't bring no World Series, and all these other big names that they brought in.
All the rest of them,
from
big free agent signings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. So you looking at 3 out of 4 against the DC Cubs, the Washington Nationals, if people don't know, and then they got a 3-game set in St. Louis. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Let's get down to.
That's probably losing. Well, nah.
St. Louis is leading, but they're not. They're in first place, but they're not like this great first place team.
I understand, but it's St. Louis. They can have a team full of me and yous, and they are always going to compete.
That's like Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
like Cleveland for us. It's always we're going to be tough. Yeah, St. Louis is always going to be right there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They'll have the first female pitcher of like, oh my God, she's a Cy Young contender because it's St. Louis.
Like, holy shit, are you serious? Like,
but you know what? I'm going to keep my positivity. They're going to win the next 2 series.
All right. They need to. They can do it. Especially they got to pull those out. They got the 3-game set at St. Louis, and then they got what is it? And 3 at Pittsburgh. They need a sweep at Pittsburgh. Yeah. I don't want any more 2 out of 3.
No.
They're good enough to beat
there's no
them 3 times.
To not beat the Pirates
by this time. Yeah. Seriously. So I'm hoping for that. And so let's take a look. The White Sox upcoming. We're going to Minnesota. This is always, I love beating Minnesota. It would be even better to beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Thank God they don't play in that awful dome anymore.
With the garbage bag.
The garbage bag roof. That's an awful place. That was just awful.
Awful place.
Yeah. And then they still had like the turf, like the old school turf, and the ball be bouncing all over the place.
That stuff.
This is insane. And then
she's a Mets fan.
No, she's a Mets fan. Yeah. So that's how we connected, because she's the fan of the stepchild
Okay.
team in the
Oh,
city,
like you
just
got.
as I am. Yeah, we're the stepchildren. We don't have any movies made about us,
Yes, you
and
did. The Black Sox, the scandal, the 8 Men Out.
oh, that's true. Oh yeah, that's true. But that was like a terrible. That was like for a terrible thing, though.
Well, I'm just saying, you had a movie made.
I want a feel good movie. Even
Hey,
the Indians had a
and
feel good
Debbie's
movie.
team was that's who he loved on King of Queens
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Seinfeld. Didn't
Yeah,
they like the Mets on Seinfeld?
Seinfeld was a Mets fan. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, he was.
and Doug Heffernan
Yeah,
and
yep.
Deacon, they were all Mets fans.
They sure were, sure were. So yeah. I told her about the catcher's mitt that we had, and Chris had that had the Gary Carter
Okay.
on it. So, but all right. So I
Okay.
think
And then you go. Then you have St. Louis.
so, and then we got St. Louis. So we're gonna try to help you guys out.
Please.
St. Louis coming to Chicago. We're gonna do what we can do. We're gonna do you a solid. When is there a crosstown series? I'm glad that they waited until into the season.
Yeah, because they can't do those when it's cold.
Those May ones. I
So
don't
it's
see them
it's
until
not
like
till August.
July or August. Wow.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I see them playing at home in August, and I must have missed at Wrigley. Yeah, hold on. So Wrigley must be July or June. I can't read. Wait.
Me neither.
When do they play at Wrigley?
Let's see.
I gotta be better prepared. I don't see it.
I mean, this was.
Oh, it's
August.
both times
August.
in August. Beginning of August at Wrigley, end of August at Guaranteed Rate.
So we'll be in the heat. We'll be in
so
the
there's
heat
no
of
excuses.
So all right, so those games will really count.
The Mets play the Cubs in June.
All right, I think we're gonna try to get Debbie on the show to come and do a little Mets commentary. Let's spice things up again.
Get her riled up again.
I'm already getting her prep. Like, hey, you gonna come on the show, right? Right. She's like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, you'll be good, Debbie. I'm waiting for you. You'll do just fine.
Yeah.
You see, we don't know anything
at all.
I mean, we're just
But hey,
so shall we wrap it for the night?
Yep. She said, "Yikes." Yep.
All right. Well, fun show. Well, this is a show that celebrates two great teams with a rich history in one city of Chicago. This is Plunked. My name is Emilio Bucks.
And I am Kristen Petite.
Shout out to our brother in arms, T. Nick. Congratulations once again, sir. We'll be talking with you again soon. And that's it. And
thanks to everyone who participated chatting with us.
Thanks for coming on, and we hope to see you guys next week. All right.
Bye.
Peace.